Of course, all witches have their familiars. For years, cats have been revered throughout the world. But again, suddenly in the Middle Ages, a few nutty people from the church decided that some supposed witches that were being persecuted could actually leave their body and jump into a cat and flee. And that still causes problems today. And normally Dr. Fluff here is quite camera worthy. There she is. Look at those eyes. Look at that. They wouldn't hurt a fly. Although there is a history. Here she goes. Another pussycat, that's White Fluff. Yes, Dr. Fluff. Back in 2000, she was behind me in the bedroom. And it was either jump over her or squash her. So I jumped. Crash. Both bones in my lower right leg. Because I'm diabetic, in plaster for 8.5 months. But to me, they're very special pussycats. But because of all the superstition that has gone on in the past, even nowadays, animal sanctuaries have problems homing cats. Black cats, that is, because they think that's superstition. Back in 2004, I did some healing for Ozzy Osbourne when he'd broken 3 ribs and 4 parts of his back. And some sort of karma, they said he'd never go on stage again, but he has. Obviously proved them all wrong. And not being nasty or having a go, but he was probably high on God knows what when he was in hospital as well. But he's a brilliant bloke, and so are the whole family. But this goes back to the fact that 3 days later, came home, we've got 9 cats, and lo and behold, she was in front of me again, and it was crunch. Broke the ribs myself. But people wouldn't believe that she's such a gentle pussycat. Yeah, she's making a few noises here. But a standing joke with Dr. Fluff, that's her name, which is typical, is that she's my real wife. And she does control everything I do in the flat here. When I do tarot card readings for people, she doesn't like it, but that's cats for you. Now as she goes on, when she lands on me in bed at night, it's like a kamikaze crunch. And I'm trying to hold a video camera far enough back to actually be able to get her face in, and her eyes, they're spectacular. But now I'll go and find the other pussycats and show you the rest we have. And it's pure coincidence, because it was either, we got a brother and a sister, sorry. And what actually happened there, they bonked, out came the first litter, before we'd got them done in time, out came the second. And we've always swan blind to keep the whole furry people together. Now, here's White Fluff. Pretty little cat, a bit timid. I mean, you wouldn't believe they're all nearly 11 years old now. I mean, Dr. Fluff is like a kitten, and White Fluff is a very beautiful little cat. But she loves chewing fingers, and on one occasion she chewed something else, which is quite painful, but that's another story. Nothing to do with me, by the way. And they're all contented, they're all home pussycats. But because I do so many tarot card readings with people, and there's always different sorts of people coming round, you know, they love it. Don't you, little White Fluff? There we go. And believe it or not, this is the mother of all the cats. The one we call Mini Mob Girl. She's a lovely pussycat, very thoughtful, and it's almost like she knows what you're thinking on occasions, particularly the same as Dr. Fluff. And as I swing round now, okay, we've got Dr. Fluff following in again. We've got another beautiful little pussycat here, who seems to be snoozing, so she's not going to pose for the camera. And as we come up, here's another one. Let's see. Oh, look at that. Occasionally we get people that don't like cats or are scared of them. And I had one lady here one day who said, "Ew, they're horrible, get them out of the room." So So I asked her to leave, and she thought I was joking. And she said, "Can you get the cats out, please?" So I said, "I'm sorry, would you leave?" And what it resulted in happening, I ended up telling her to off out of our flat, which she did. I mean, it's the cat's home. They live here. They're always up and around doing something, mainly trashing things in the middle of the night. Yep, wouldn't live without them. And again, here we have Dr. Fluff, who seems to be wanting to be the film star today. Over she goes. But remember, if a black cat's behind you, they're not lucky. But if they're in front of you, they are very lucky. Now this one is perfect, as they say. I call him Moony Mob. He's a very handsome pussycat, very thoughtful, but when you go to the loo, he decidedly jumps on your back. And yeah, he loves it. My wife Sandy calls him idiot boy, but he's 100% not. He's astute, always on top of situations, and these are my real family. Forget humans. Cats always come first. And look at his eyes, look, and his teeth. Zoom in closely, he's moved. Camera shy. Sorry, not camera shy. Licking his bum. I think that'd be the better word to put it. Ah, rude pussycats. And yet another pussycat. Now this one is still quite shy of people. But he's only just started, getting used to people coming in and all that sort of thing. After 10.5, maybe 11 years. They all look the same, and people say, how can we recognise them from each other? Believe me, it's very easy to do. As I say, cats are supposed to be witches' familiars. But please bear in mind here that all our cats are pets. They're never used in rituals, although Dr. Fluff has been dubbed as my high priestess. For various reasons. And on occasion at night, up they jump, all along our mantelpiece, crunch, smash, bang, and here's my little altar that normally gets carried around when I'm doing rituals outside in my, what I call the witchy woods. And a film of that will follow. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed our pussycats, and I'd love to see pussycat films back, particularly if they're black. Okay, take care. May the magic be with you. Okay, before I go, here's one of the other pussycats, Brushy Fluff, who normally hides away. A beautiful cat. I'm not quite sure how to describe her, like Pussycat Yessie, if you like. Beautiful pussycat. Wouldn't harm a fly, but there is rivalry between her and a few other little cats. But this is where she likes to live, or in front of Sandy's thing. And she loves it. You have to excuse the television in the background, but this one I call Foxy White Patch, my wife calls Foxy. But if we come down, you can actually see she's got a kind of an Egyptian look in her eyes. And I can't see a thing. Right, there she is. He is, sorry. He's a very, very handsome, charismatic pussycat. And I think we've seen all the cats now. And of course, now back to Dr. Fluff to say meow meow. Now,